Today on Tricrow Studios, we do a high gain amp shootout between the Marshall JCM 800 2203X, the X stands for reissue, and the Peavey Windsor. Now, even though there was a warning at the beginning of the video, I do have to reiterate here, this is a high gain amp head shootout. So there's not going to be any clean samples or any breakup samples or anything like that. If you are interested in seeing a direct comparison between the two where there's no metal being played and no pedals being used, take a look in the description down below. I haven't made the video yet, but when I do, I'll leave a link there so you can see a direct comparison. Also, if you're interested in seeing individual videos for each amp where I'm playing metal or I'm playing no metal and not using any pedals, I'll leave links in the description there as well. Now, this is a highly requested amp head shootout, I think because I don't even want to get into it. There's some sort of misconception that the Peavey Windsor is an exact clone of a Marshall JCM 800. It's definitely not. You can show me schematics all you want. I get it. I hear you, big dog. But there's definitely a lot of differences there between the two amps. So I have two sound samples today, both of which are using an Ibanez TS9 to boost. It's all level, no gain, and the tone is sitting around 2 o'clock. The first sound sample is a Gibson Les Paul Traditional in E-flat standard. That is, the mids are sitting at around 10 o'clock, so I'll say that it is scooped. And the second sound sample is a Gibson Explorer in drop C, and the mids are sitting around like 1:30 or 2 o'clock, so it's a little more balanced. Alright, so there you go. There is the high gain amp head shootout between the Marshall JCM 800 2203X, it's a 2016 reissue, and a Peavey Windsor, which is a 100 watt EL34 amp. This is generally the portion where I talk about what I learned about, or what I kind of figured after doing it, what I took away from doing the shootout here. I kind of knew what I was getting into. It seems more and more that when I do shootouts with the JCM 800, I know, I kind of have a general idea of what I'm going to hear. But the JCM 800, it has that very, very pronounced mid-range with like a really, I want to say soft, low and high end to it. So basically it doesn't like overpower, overchunk, and it allows for a lot of other frequencies to kind of exist in the mix. It's also an amp that doesn't have a ton of gain, so you really do have to crank things. And I'm having an issue right now with my Final Cut Pro where if I'm switching from one sample to another, sometimes it will just randomly kind of peak things, so that's why you're hearing some clipping. I apologize for that. But it doesn't have a ton of gain in it, so you really have to crank the master. And the Windsor, very surprisingly, when you bring the preamp volume, so the preamp, the gain, if you bring that to about halfway and you introduce an Ibanez TS9 there, it starts to sound like there's a lot of like saturated gain there. It's definitely a lot more than the 800. It's one of those ones where it's not going to win a whole bunch of shootouts if you compare it against a whole bunch of other amps. But it's one of those amps that, if you play it on its own, it's going to be deceiving. So it's a good amp, definitely a good amp. It's got different flavors to it. But I just find that the frequencies aren't as strong. They aren't as pronounced. So there's some mud in there. You can get some odd boxiness, which is, you can kind of get with Marshalls as well. But it just seems that the frequencies there, they're not as strong as most other amps. And that can kind of leave it feeling a little underpowered, especially coming up against a Marshall JCM 800. I do have to say though, I mean it's an amp that both of these, if you were to blend it with another amp that had a little more high end to the sound, a little more gain perhaps, both of these would actually make great bedfellows. Anyway, that's really all I have to say here about the shootout. I know a lot of people have been asking me to do it just because I don't know how, but word on the street, I've been told, I'll show you the schematics. It's the exact same thing. The controls are different on it. It has a built-in boost. There's more gain to it, and just the frequencies aren't directly matched. So I've heard through the grapevine that the Windsor is a direct 800 clone. That's just not the case. Thanks for watching.